Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me? I know you cannot see me yet, but can you hear me? Ah, that's better. All right, welcome this week to the Corvid Communications Executive Stream. As usual, I am your host this evening, CEO Calvin Gawthorne. Alrighty. So, this has been a very busy week, although I've also had a very odd obsession this week with radiation as a concept. Exactly why that is, I don't know. Maybe it's because, due to my interest in cosmic horror, I find it interesting that radiation is probably the closest thing in reality that resembles a true eldritch force. You cannot see it, you cannot truly comprehend it, and if you're exposed to too much of it, it does terrible things to you. Anyway, off my tangent, if you didn't notice at the bottom of the screen, we have a news ticker. I thought it would be a fun little thing to add to the stream overlay. It's going to be on all screens, and it's just kind of going to be, for the most part, standard information, how Corvid Communications stock shares are doing, how our market share is doing this quarter, and information about things that are going on in the vicinity around our beautiful headquarters. And that being said, just like with the scary story submissions, I am collecting submissions for news headlines that people may find interesting to see. So if you got anything interesting, DM me on Twitter. I have also made a Twitter post where you can comment anything. Same on Threads, and on my Discord server, which is linked in the link tree. Anyway, I hope everyone's had a good week. I have been looking forward to playing this game ever since it won the tiebreaker. This is probably partially because I myself have been an H.P. Lovecraft fan ever since I was either late middle, early high schooler. I've always loved the concept of cosmic horror, which is ironic because as a genre it's incredibly depressing. So, yeah. This story is based on H.P. Lovecraft, but I would like to give a disclaimer. While I respect H.P. Lovecraft as a writer, his works did put cosmic horror as a genre into motion. That being said, themes covered in his work are things that are definitely problematic to some degree, even for his time, which was the 1920s, when such beliefs were sadly commonplace. And the game we're playing today actually does acknowledge this as well, and it is in fact going to be an element in the story of this game. They acknowledge that, so I too am also going to warn you, because due to how I usually set up streams, I'm usually on the menu screen, and this was one of the many splash pages before the game actually begins. So, before we get into it, let's lighten the mood just a touch with some inspiration from our good friend Inspirobot. First things first, let's get that inspirational music going. As soon as I find it. Sometimes I forget exactly how Streamlabs works. Alright, this first one. Here Comes Happiness. Considering the themes of this game, I highly doubt that. Our entire concept of the alternative media is a social construct. Alternative media. Does alternative media just mean not the mainstream? Because if that is the case, they are sadly mistaken. Before the slaughter comes revolution. I think those happen at roughly the same time. Mainstream cooks steal, more mainstream cook comply. Let me repeat that one. Mainstream cooks steal, more mainstream cooks comply. So does that mean some people steal, some people are obedient to laws? I do not know. Don't share your credit card information with young people when they're doing their thing. I mean, that's just in general. Don't share your credit card information because that's how you get your identity stolen and your bank account drained. Well, involuntarily drained anyway. Before romantic dinner comes the melancholy. Depending on how that romantic dinner goes, I think it more comes after. Before mediocrity comes the value of human lives. I think mediocrity usually comes when you don't value human lives. Alright. So, as said before we begin this game is going to cover some not-so-nice things that are both unfortunately historically accurate and also unfortunately heavy themes in the majority of Lovecraft's works. So, if you are sensitive to such things, now is the time this might not be the stream you want to watch. So, good? Everyone out who wants to be out? Alrighty. Let's begin. Alright. Can you hear anything? Just a moment. There we go. Let's crank it down just a touch. Dear Mr. Charles Reed, as you requested, I've researched the outburst of hysteria. Did I exit the volume mixer? Real fast. I'm gonna fix something. Because I realized I done goofed. Okay. Why are games always like just maximum loud? Anyway. Dear Mr. Charles Reed, as you requested, I've researched the outbursts of hysteria and visions in the city of Oakmont, Massachusetts. It turns out that while your assumptions were correct, such cases are indeed more frequent here. Men and women across the country are drawn to Oakmont, haunted by visions similar to yours, a city drowning, the presence of something great, yet unknown. As luck has it, I believe we have stumbled upon the source of your ailment, and the person who might help you with it. Prepare yourself, and then come to Oakmont as soon as you can. I will meet you here to help you on your way. Cordially, Johannes Vanderberg. Recent cataclysmic flooding has left the city's poorer neighborhoods sodden. Ooh, already spooky. I think our dear protagonist is in fact a detective. He looks like one. Either that or a door-to-door salesman. He could be one of those. Oh, are there zombies in this game? You must have seen some terrible things in the Great War. You look like you are about to vomit. Are you going to vomit? Are you on a boat? Or do you just have a really leaky seat? Why did it fade? Oh, I see. You have hit some Cyclopean ruins. It appears you have encountered a giant squid, good sir. And now for some creepy whispering. I'm going to adjust the balance again. Oh, there we go. Oh, now it makes sense. He was having a conniption. Alright. I have a first aid kit and a brick. Do I get to throw the brick at people? Yes, this is in fact a gun.
I never have to use it. Something tells me I will.
You're one of those shoot first, ask questions later type of detectives, aren't you? Okay, we've read that on the intro loading screen. We don't need that. Folding camera. Did they have folding cameras in this era? I feel like not. Gunpowder, coil springs, shell casings. I would like to observe that. Thank you. I should probably... Oh. Mine's IQ. Oh, I'm supposed to take a picture. How do I use my camera? Oh, items, obviously. Now that is an interesting animal. I wonder what it is.
Trust a tourist advertisement.
I mean, obviously. This is one leaky-ass boat.
Now get out. Now get out. Now get out.
So you're not going to tell me anything, are you? No, usually these travel guides are the people who kind of say, "Welcome to Oakmont. There's literally nothing here. I do not know why you came here."
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes Vanderberg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Much obliged, Mr. Vandenberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
Okay. So let's see what he has to say about this. That is a nice suit. I am very fond of the yellow.
That's an eye-catching suit.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. A mere flood is no excuse for one to abandon one's style.
I can appreciate this.
You're a big fan of yellow.
Well, I have a particular weakness for it. Call it a personal grudge.
As a person whose day-to-day wardrobe consists of blacks, grays, and blues, I can appreciate that.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't market, and this Ridley packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
Fair. Alright, let's ask about the flood.
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks, and the water has risen ever higher without receding. Now the city is cut off from the mainland. I must say I rather like it, despite the inconvenience. Atmosphere, you know?
Okay, so is the title just a lie? So the city is not sinking, the water is coming up. I'm sorry, but to me, sinking involves a downward trajectory that is literally the definition. You know what? I'm gonna look this up. Sinking. To go down below the surface of something, especially of a liquid. Become submerged. To descend! To drop. Gradually decrease or decline in value, amount, quality, or intensity. Approach death. Insert beneath the surface by digging or hollowing out. I mean, technically you still could count it, but I'd argue that given the common definition of to sink, that is a misnomer.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. Visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out in the crowd.
Is he a fishman? This is an H.P. Lovecraft story. One of the most famous is Shadow of Innsmouth. There's gotta be fishmen.
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throgmorton?
A remarkable creature, scion of a robust bloodline, a philanthropist, a scholar, and the patron of the famous Oakmont University, a man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
Why does he refer to him as a creature? Also, see what I mean already? They're beginning to mention bloodlines and stuff like that. That's probably going to be a fairly common theme, I think, unfortunately.
I'll need a place to lay my head. Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Lee.
How do you fill your days, Mr. Pennyberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Lee. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
I mean, he's kinda right.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Your Highness. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper, places you'll need to get to. This city is insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you'd better know where to turn in search of a lead.
Ooh. Alright.
That's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
I think you are the killer. Can I talk
We'll
to you?
meet again, Mr.
Oh, lovely. They're just gonna leave this here? At least pick it up and fry it into calamari. What are you doing?
The end is nigh. It will begin again. What is down comes up. The seed is sown.
That is an intense tattoo. Like, I could only imagine how long that took to get there. Anything else you can tell me? By the way, I probably am going to look at the controls repeatedly, so I am going to apologize in advance. What the heck are you? Are you a mollusk? Are you a weird rat? Are you weird mutated sea otters? Tatiana, lifeboat. Albert Throgmorton's will. I hope someone finds this. My name is Albert Throgmorton, and this is my will. I want to warn you. Don't go to the depths below Oakmont. There's... readable. We should have never done that. Everything should have remained in that cave. Professor... redacted. I fear what will become of me. It's singing in my brain. Dancing on my eyelids. Every time I close my eyes. The cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. In the end, it comes. I must warn everyone. I must tell my father. He's here.
Where's your Oberon, huh, Titania?
Clearly, this man is a scholar of Shakespeare. Oh, the diving bell?
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
All evidence
Something with
collected.
this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
Alright, let's talk to you. Why is this thing fish-eyeing a bit? Climb, melee attack, mind's eye, casebook, tutorials, loop,
You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays. You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
Alright, is there anything else I can collect? This is an investigation, after all. Climbing the fence post, climbing the fence post, climbing the fence post, do I know how to swim? The answer is, I do, in fact. Oh. Oh! Am I getting eaten by giant lampreys? Or eels. One of those things. I nearly almost died, but that's okay. Alright, let's find another piece of evidence. Can I get back on the boat? There's something here. Can I... Oh, what? Oh. Can I climb the ladder? Can I get past...
Get out!
Can I get past you, Gruff the Sailor? No, I cannot. Maybe I should turn the skills, options, settings. Gameplay, not the gameplay, video. Let's turn this down a bit, because I am getting, just by looking at the screen, it kind of looks like I'm getting some problems. There we go, that's looking a bit smoother. Apologies for that.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is final.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
My good sir!
Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private...
Your simian countenance displays a certain degree of biodiversity heretofore unseen in the human family. You are indeed a Neanderthal. Might I take you to my lab to dissect you for research?
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
Sir, you look like an escaped zoo chimpanzee.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
I had a dream once. I'm malicious, mean, and scary.
Son,
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
I'd assume a right angle.
PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of the deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
You don't believe him.
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers, mark my words.
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. Now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damn city.
See what I mean. Unfortunately, this is going to be a theme, so, again, if you're sensitive to such things, this might not be the stream to watch.
Refugees.
I appreciate that they tried to tell a story from the eras H.P. Lovecraft wrote in.
Family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Fair. You have a point, newcomer.
Oh! Bong Pong 82, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream.
I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dave, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. These fishermen supposedly brought him to their house and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
You know, I already have questions regarding this investigation. Considering the infancy that deep-sea diving was in at this time, How did he wind up in a lifeboat and disconnected from the boat? This was in the era where they literally had to pump air down to you from a boat on the surface. It wasn't like scuba diving where you have a tank on your back, and it also wasn't in the era where they swam freely. They literally wore weighted equipment, like the boots were intentionally heavy so you stayed at the bottom. How did he wind up disconnected from the boat and on a lifeboat with his diving helmet in there? By all rights, he should have either drowned or gotten crushed under the pressure.
You mentioned lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. You were standing right in front of it.
Okay. I just barely got off the boat here, sir. I don't know what anything is. I'm new in town.
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see. Thank you.
Okay, you say it's a blend, but of what? English and Latin, English and Spanish, English and German, English and Japanese. Likely not that one, considering this is the East Coast, not the West Coast.
Summon newcomer and be quick about it.
I have half a mind. I need to find evidence. So I found a diving bell. Also, I lowered the graphics quality a little bit earlier just because I noticed I was getting some choppiness. And I, for one, do not appreciate it. What have you got to say, friend?
Praise the sea with us.
I, for one, like being on land, thank you. I will not join you in praising the sea. I believe the sea deserves respect and a wide berth. Like, I've said this a lot in my Subnautica streams previously. The ocean is terrifying, and there are many reasons for that. Namely, we know more about the moon. We know more about Mars. We know more probably about all of the other planets in our solar system. We know nearly nothing in comparison about the water that covers 2/3 of the planet. Alright. Is there something I missed, or is that M4 map? All evidence. Oh! Can I remove this? Can I remove this? Yes! Okay. So I've collected that one. And now I need to see what else is here. Okay, so if it's green, I've collected everything there. This, however, I have not collected everything. Okay, I figured it out. I'm still getting used to the interface. Are you the fisherman?
I've said everything I know.
I haven't even asked you anything.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
I mean, if you watch anyone closely enough.
Mr. Throgmorton, this in the lifeboat. Looks like it's her son's will.
Give it to me. Oh, my boy, what did you get yourself into? If only I hadn't sent you on that cursed expedition.
I mean, what did he get himself into? I think what he got himself into was a grave. A particularly watery one. Alright. Can I go in here? Grisly, but not out of the ordinary, I would think, with this era. I mean, I have had my own experiences filleting some fish. It's not a very clean process. It's clean afterwards, though. Shell casings and gunpowder.
Huh. This dog mat looks better than the owner's bed.
I will explore every nook and cranny. How do you let it get this bad? Like, barnacles on a boat is one thing, but even then, typically they scrub that. At least as much as they can.
The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for.
Maybe it's because of the leaky roofs. I mean, that just goes without saying, I would think. Next question, why is there pieces of boat just everywhere?
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
Well, that's interesting.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
You know, if you shared evidence, this would be a lot easier. Yes, I can tell, sir. The people in this story are already giving me a headache. I can relate. Alcohol. Probably what I'll need to get rid of this headache.
I barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
I mean, what? Is that my sanity?
Barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here.
The way these are over.
5 cards short of a full house.
Well, that might have been what the match was lost over. Alright. Why is it getting all wibbly wobbly? Oh! No, see, I speak Relayan. That means this man is high as balls. A knife.
Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work.
Ooh. I desire a ceremonial dagger that is carved in a similar way. Well, yeah, I imagine not. If you need to sail to get there, I imagine the police are not too fond of looking at things.
So that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
He does not look pleased.
So that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
He has a case of RBF, I believe is the term. See if I find some information.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
already checked back here? I believe. Oh.
The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for.
H. There's a bunch of markings all over the place. There must be something else here. There are whisperings in the darkness.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing.
Oh,
Don't
what?
toss it over like this.
I should probably stop hitting the hit button.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Who are you? The police? I already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, private eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fellow Paul, Barry, and Innmouth of Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. That'll starve.
I mean, I imagine the railroad doesn't do too well when the tracks are submerged in water.
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. We were here. This is our house. Barry was outside on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious. Barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. And he started to make these horrible sounds and okay, my head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me.
That sounds familiar.
I feel like the needed a little work. Other than that, delivery was pretty okay.
Who is this K you keep mentioning?
Outsiders show some respect. K is our Lord, our life, our love.
Sorry.
Who is K? That does not answer anything. Show some respect. Please elaborate on why I should respect them.
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. K be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. I keep asking Mr. everything. But I have no idea what Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. May have mercy on his soul.
I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
Oh! Oh. What the heck?
What's happening?
Okay, so I think here's the next course.
Take this, ape face.
Well, you look like the fishman.
Yeah, run!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Anything else? Anything else? Oh.
What's happening?
I think this looks like the first sequence.
What's happening?
Take this, ape-face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
Why am I seeing zombies? Mind Palace. Okay. Mind Palace. Interesting. So, casebook. Albert Throckmorton attacked the fishermen at the neighborhood as soon as he regained consciousness. Interesting. Am I missing any evidence? I don't believe I am. No, I am definitely missing evidence. Oh.
Yeah. I still hear those voices.
There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee.
I wonder if there's anything on the
It would
outside.
take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
I didn't look outside after. Police line, do not cross. Ah! I don't think I investigated over here. I clearly cannot get back there. I am missing a piece of evidence. I don't know where to look. Dog. I didn't see the dog anywhere. Maybe I can talk to him now.
I've said everything I know.
You said everything you know. Okay, well, what you gave was not good enough. What the... Are you not going to ask what those are, Mr. Detective? They're clearly not cats. At least not any Earth cats. Okay. So evidence is clearly here somewhere. gotta be missing something. I'm not getting the all evidence collected yet. And I want to have all the evidence. I might condemn a man to death if I don't. And even then, I might still screw it up. There's another diving bell.
5 cards short of a full house.
Is that supposed to be him saying it? I don't think I commented anything else on the watch. Anything else? It does not appear so. There's gotta be something else here. I am missing something. Can I not get anything about the knife? Was a knife just a knife?
Choo-choo.
Oh, there we go. I can track down Albert. So how do I track down Albert? Is it on my map? Oh, yes it is. This is probably going to hurt. Looks like he ran that way.
So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let off a few shots.
Let's see where Albert is. Oh. Oh, hey.
Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong.
I'm starting to get a fisheye lens effect. Keep going. And there. There's another H painted on the door. I'm about to get... What? Can I hit you? Yes. Yes, I can. I feel as though my sanity is in fact low.
There's something in the pocket.
Bloodstain note. Lewis, please, just give me one more week. I know I owe you. but I'm underwater like everyone else right now. I don't yet have enough stock to operate the bar smoothly with the fuzz snooping about the port. But don't worry, I struck a nice deal with the proper people, and should have a steady supply channel soon. Just one more week and I'll return everything with double interest. Beat it.
Your blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have gotten far.
Alright, let's investigate. Gunpowder. Was there something here? Doesn't look like it. Let's take a look to see what else is here. Can I open this? Let me in! Where's the padlock? Oh. Well! Am I whacking it with a... That's a baby. That is a baby sperm whale. That is the only thing that could be. Oh gosh, is this what the catch of the day is? I think I'll be off sushi for a little bit.
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
All right. All evidence collected. Casebook. Lewis may be at the bar. Except I know not where the bar is. I do like how, as an investigator, you actually need to do some investigating. Can I talk to you? You have a very yellowish skin tone, my good sir. Might you have the jaundice? We live in an era where maladies are quite common. Under the keel Oh, the bar's that close. That does simplify things quite a bit. So do I need to get down there, or is it closer? Seriously, you're not going to question what the hell this thing is. It looks like a rodent, but it has 8 legs! That doesn't ring any red flags! None at all!
Got a spare
bullet, fella? I ain't eaten in days.
Well, that's depressing.
Hey, got a spare bullet, fella? I ain't eaten in days.
Now, who are you?
Familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around. You look familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around.
Alright. Collect all evidence.
Come closer, troubled soul. Let me tell you what your future holds.
I imagine... Did they even have chest mount, like, flashlights you could mount on your clothing at this era?
It's so clear.
I might look into that.
Your path holds many surprises, newcomer.
Really? Like what?
Not so fast, newcomer. I see many things. For a small fee, I'll tell you some of them.
Alright, how much? $1?
Your money has no value here, newcomer. After the flood, Oakmonters deal in the practical. Booze, smokes, and bullets. And I'll make it easier for you. I don't smoke.
I feel like, out of all of these, the only one that's somewhat practical is the alcohol, because it could be used to disinfect. Or, given the things I'm already seeing, forget.
Let's hear what my future holds.
Good. Let me focus. The sea will be generous in the coming days. Many gifts delivered, and many will regret partaking.
I mean, it is truly regrettable to go into the ocean.
Old and new. A hard heart against an iron will. Whoever wins, you win too. But you'll only see that from inside a metal cage. And tall pillars circled by the dead. A race from one to the next as time itself laughs.
Are you a wizard?
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
You are welcome. I can't wait to see what you do.
Tempting fate. Oh, I got an achievement! Before I talk to everybody, let's see what's up here.
What the? Get them! Oh.
Are you sleeping on a bed of seaweed? That does not seem comfortable. Oh, the whispers are back.
Door won't budge.
Can I smack it?
Door won't budge.
Now, this is the 20s. And looking at the way things are, things probably aren't particularly stable. I'm betting if you bashed it with the shovel enough, it'd break.
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
I've seen some unsettling creatures around.
Finally, he acknowledges it!
What are they?
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea. Others they are Kay's punishment.
Who is Kay? And why is everyone obsessed with her?
If it bleeds, you
Why does every kiss begin with her?
And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember,
See what I said?
be a coward
See what I said. Perfect cure.
unless you're a newcomer.
That being said, I personally do not drink.
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah, even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, I seems to
gets me out of this mess, you can have it. So, he's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him once and for all. And save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day.
I already like this investigator character.
Hey, knock it off!
Oh, whoops. Sorry, Mr. Fisherman.
Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure. Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
You got anything to say, Mr. Harmonica Man, or do you just play the blues?
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
I believe you. I see a bunch of weird freaking rats everywhere. Everywhere.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles.
Oh, wow, he is a fisherman.
Investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down.
He's got really pointy
I
teeth.
want to speak for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning.
I'll ask you why you look. I'll save the rude question for once I'm done interrogating you.
Me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. So I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving the sun. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over him. First thing I recall after was that darn warehouse with me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though. I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
So,
That's
Fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder. Always conspiring behind our backs. Always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
That's interesting. Kind of a. I'll admit I kind of wasn't expecting that, but that's kind of a bit of a good commentary on marginalized communities. Interesting.
you mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld. The Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right. Those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
That's an interesting. Okay, they definitely did a good job reflecting the accuracies of accurately depicting Lovecraft's work, though with a little bit more nuance than I think he would have done. Very, very interesting. Although here's the thing. The fact that Innsmouthers are a thing just confirms that this isn't just inspired by Lovecraft. This takes place in the Cthulhu mythos. Which is interesting, and actually mentioning that a certain of the big families is connected through the Marsh bloodline is a direct other than the direct reference to Innsmouth itself through the Innsmouthers, is the Marshes. Obed Marsh is the reason why the Deep Ones had an interest in Innsmouth at all. Okay, let's ask the rude question now.
What kind of... Why do you... Your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you? Wanna spit on me, whisper to your friends?
No, I was just literally genuinely curious.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. I didn't mean any offense.
Innsmouthers' bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
Okay, so...
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
You think you're the first person to offer me a bribe?
Please, Mr. Reed.
Now, don't try my patience further, Mr. Flynn.
Now, I'll be honest, I am in... Oh. Gosh dang.
Please, I told you the truth, I swear.
I really gotta stop sticking the hit button. Because one of these times, I'm going to hit someone, and it's going to actually hurt them. I need to realize the talk button is a left click. It's not E. E is for when I want to hit something. It works via Warframe rules. I found Lewis Flynn, the Innsmouther fisherman that killed Albert Throgmorton, hiding in a local bar in the port. He admitted that he was at the crime scene, but can't remember how exactly he killed Albert Throgmorton. He claims that he was under mental influence, just like the other fishermen at the house, and that he was not in control of himself. He asked me not to give him up to Robert Throgmorton. I can either reveal Lewis's whereabouts to Robert Throgmorton, and save him and lie to Robert. All right. So, I think I have all the evidence. Yes, I have all the evidence.
Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something.
What? I don't have to be.
Some unusual creatures. And they sure weren't friendly.
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but started. They're aggressive, but fortunately not immune to gunfire.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible, and when you can, keep your weapons handy.
All right.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news. Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry. He was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
I've tracked down your son's murderer.
Where? Who is he?
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those things prowling in the back alleys. They tore him apart. It was that Innmouth fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood, and may have attracted the beasts.
Are you certain the body is his?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth. It's from his jacket. His desk is friends.
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild beasts. Something must be done about those pests. Still, justice has been served. This isn't closure, but at least I know now the story. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Killing to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
I'm looking into an outbreak of erratic behavior and madness, all linked to shared visions of this place.
Indeed. Then our goals align. This inexplicable hysteria has spread through Oakmont after the flood.
Really?
I ordered an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Interesting.
Many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained to them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, sleeping giants, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
So her name is Miss Doe. Is she a descendant of bakers?
Of geological expedition.
Perhaps they lived on Baker Street.
I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
Definitely a good question to ask.
Do you think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week that Albert, the only one I could trust, was ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throckmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe.
That's fair. That's very
When
fair.
finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
Solve your first case in Oakmont.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
Yes, you did, but I wanted to see if you had any more to say. You did not need to be a dick about it. Lore. Mythos. Can I actually... Vigor. Mind. Okay, definitely interesting so far. I like how, so far, you actually need to think things through. You need to think about what it takes. Alright, I'm going to go to the bar and tell the fisherman that he is free to go. Just be careful. Don't do what again? Who are you, Mr. Top Hat? You look as though you travel a lot. Oh my word. I think I found who the killer is.
Door won't budge.
He's carrying human remains. I'm pretty sure that a man is a serial killer if he's just carrying those around in a backpack. He probably likes admiring his past victims. Ugh, goopy. Tiny boat, tiny boat. Did I trap myself? No. Good. I just want to talk. Alright. Let's see what else here. Did I get on a boat I can no longer escape from? I would like to get off the... There we go! What do you sell? Is that soda? Canned goods? War bonds? What's in here? Garbage. People, you need to clean up your squids. And octopi. Hotel, Oakmont Chronicle, Oakmont Police Department, Oakmont University Library, Oakmont City Hall, Throgmorton Manor, Asylum. How lovely! I think I'm going to get to the hotel for now. North of Coverside Road. Coverside Road, Coverside Road, Coverside Road, Coverside Road, Coverside Road. So I need to find it. Oh! Well, that's handy. That reminds me, I should probably save at some point, yes? Sir, are you too lazy to hold your own umbrella, despite clearly having working hands? Okay, clearly cannot go that way, so I need to go out the gate. Seriously, what are you? Alright, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, a cutscene. America. Oh, well, that's quite the storm. Excuse me, I did not ask to be relocated. Thank you. Robert Throgmorton funded an expedition to discover the origin of the mass hysteria gripping Oakmont. The expedition was to explore the seabed near Oakmont. Contact with the expedition was soon lost. Albert Throgmorton was the only known survivor. He was subsequently murdered. I was hired to find any other expedition members, dead or alive. Throgmorton will be waiting for my report in his manor in southern Old Grove.
Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brothers.
My Diary, Part 1. I don't know what exactly sank the USS Cyclops. I only remember the screams, and the metal creaking, water filling the deck, and my headache, the worst I've ever had. I found myself floating in seaweed, floating among the floating seaweed, drowning. A nearby piece of a boat helped me survive, and reach the shore of a small island. They found me on it later, starving, half-mad, and babbling about the ancient ruins and their denizens. The officials said none of what I thought I'd seen was real. But my memories are true. My strange powers, gained after that ordeal, prove it. I found something horrible on that island. Something old and dark and slithering. And it still haunts me. Oh, I should not have leaned in that close to my mic. It lost sensor and... Well, that's not exactly the best face to be making, is it? All that we see or seem is just a dream within a dream. Charles W. Reed, 32117 to 10994. I'm guessing that's a service number, not dates.
Never again, they say.
Laudanum. Ah, yes. In the early days, before we had modern mental health medicines, the thing you drank was in fact an opiate, which not only helped you cope with nightmares, but also made you high as a kite, and addicted to a hard drug. Much in a similar vein to how Coca-Cola used to be sold over the counter. before they remove the cocaine.
No matter how much of this I chug down, the visions always return.
How much do you chug down, Mr. Reed? Please tell me. We're here to help you. We will help you deal with this problem of yours. Oh. Oh, interesting. However, I'll admit, that looks ridiculous. I personally would have thought a cultist outfit would involve more robes. Oh look, Sherlock Holmes. I need this outfit. I need it. Man of science. They wear king's robes. I'm dressing in that. That looks... I look stylish. I mean, I know considering this isn't an online game and the only one who will see me in this is anyone who watches these streams and myself. But gosh dang it, if there is any degree of character customization in a game, even if it's single player, it's going to tickle my fancy a little bit. Mr. Reed, you were the rare example of a man who treated one of my kind humanely, and I feel I have to repay the debt to you. Take this as a friendly piece of advice. Run. Save your life. Leave this drunk city to the depths. Don't dig into its secrets, for they are not worth it. There's nothing good left here. I believe you can find a way to escape. Please heed my words. Lewis Flynn. I'm pretty sure that was not at all what he sounded like, but that is what I always picture the people of Innmouth sounding like when they're half fish mutated. I would never want to use this bathroom. It is far too dirty. The sink is gungy, the toilet is gungy, the bathtub is gungy, that, whatever that is gungy. I'm pretty sure it's a wash basin. This mirror, I can't even see myself in it. This hotel is getting a 1-star review. Mr. Reed, it seems as that you have overexerted yourself while conducting the investigation of Mr. Throgmorton. Forgive me for the audacity, but I brought you here to the Devil's Reef. While you were unconscious, please take more care of yourself in the future. I won't be there for you every time. Johannes. I do like how I don't have to open the doors in any way, I can just walk up to them. I don't know whose luggage this is, but I'm going to take their shit. Just like with any good role-playing game. Green doors. Green doors mean cannot open. Oh, look! Summoning circles! Always a sign of good things to come. At least if you're the summoner. The nightmares. I boarded up the windows and locked the door. There's men. The Yellow King's gang. They can't get in here now. Now there's only me. Me and these nightmares. A little longer, and I'll figure them out. Oh, hello, note stuck to door with knife. Mr. Archer, I've seen you dragging things into your room. Mind the floor. I'll make you pay for any scratches you leave. Your landlord. I don't think you're getting your security deposit back, but at the same time, your landlord, considering the state of these floors, I don't think he should be charging anything.
The door won't budge.
Am I in the basement or am I on the second floor? Well, I'm going to explore more people's rooms and invade their privacy. I am respecting your privacy as a human being, but I am exerting my authority as an investigator by coming in anyway. Too many coincidences. So the lighthouse is out, several ships have gotten lost at sea, and some are now decorating the city's beaches. That's one thing. That's a lot of things. But now, there's an enterprising fellow at the city port hiring salvagers to recover ships. He's turning a tidy profit from selling them. Can't be a coincidence, need to look into it. Now, if only the city wasn't so impossible to navigate! Honestly, I think that person's... whoever that person is who's sending ships out to salvage, they're being an opportunistic bastard, but... I'm not sure. Whoa. He looks like something out of Dante's Inferno. Don't worry, sir. Hell is a state of mind. You'll learn to enjoy the fire.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you though, mister, you wanna stay on here, you stop making all that noise.
Noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, alright?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't really remember what happened, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, well, next time it happens, you end up sleeping under the bridge like the other newcomers.
Not exactly friendly with your guests. Are we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out.
He has some anglerfish teeth, man.
In the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine, fine. Take what you wish.
Gosh dang it, I did it again.
I'm watching you, newcomer.
Every step you take, every move you make, do-do-do-do-do, ba-do-do-ba-do, double watching you. To Walter. Walter? Can I help you if I hear you're peddling your cheap, affordable living again? I could live with your renting out a beast-ridden flophouse, but you're cutting into my profits. Don't make that mistake, and I know you're on the fish market. And I have dangerous people living here that I can send after you. You've been warned, Vic. I take it you are Walter. Oh. I've seen these at aquariums. I do not like them. I do not like spiders. I do not like crabs. Combining the two does not help. Any other evidence here? Can I see anything with my magical psychic powers?
I'm watching you, newcomer.
Hey buddy, I can help you out of the situation. I know a trench shovel that is thirsty and requires feeding. It could help. A note about the hobo signs. Darren, I'm finally starting to figure this out. Locals use signs to mark special places that That you know already. Kind of like the secret signs hobos use all over the country. What I learned is that tradition dates back to the times well before the flood. I've been able to find out the meaning of some of them. You see a crooked H sign shaped on the doors around town? That means the house is inhabited. The crosshatched grid sign marks hidden caches of useful items. The V-shaped signs for barricades and dangerous places. Good catch there, they say. Still haven't figured out the spiral-shaped sign, though. You'll have to investigate for yourself, and if you see the signs with a cross of 3 Ks, reach for the gun. K. Okay, now where was I going? Okay, now I see what they're talking about with the city sinking. The streets are literally sinking. New location, infested area. Ooh, what will you give me for exploring you? Ooh, I actually get to pilot the boat. That's neat, actually. Hello, friend. Are you stranded? Cyclops. Can I talk to you? It does not appear so. You are just clutching your head manically. Okay, now I get why it's called Sinking City. It's not just flooding, it's literally... This place is becoming a sinkhole! Can I explore you? How do I get off boat? How do I get off boat? Oh, that's how. Let's see what's here. You don't get everything in these games unless you look at everything. Keep your eyes peeled. You know, I feel like something is missing here to really fit the 1920s aesthetic. And you know what that thing is? Freeform jazz. Okay, how is that sign remaining just stationary there? By all accounts, that should be just floating everywhere. I'm gonna guess it's tied down with something or weighted in some way. I take it the flapper movement didn't go so well here after the flooding happened. Oh! Oh, you are definitely not the same house. I thought you were. My mistake. Oh. 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 Oh no. I may have made an error in calculation. Oh, that thing's still chasing me. I only have 4 bullets. Oh. Can I just crack? Oh, I can! Now I know. And knowing is half the battle. Alright, let's try that again. Did I just see that because I was low sanity? Oh. Hello. Oh. Whoops! Okay, so I guess sometimes going off the beaten path leads to encounters with ungodly horrors. Wait. This is a Lovecraft-inspired work. I should know that already. I've played the TTRPG of Call of Cthulhu. Whenever you go off the beaten path and look into things too deeply, death tends to be the result.
Choose wisely.
What are you yammering all up on about, bowler hat?
Oakmont. Your vote is your choice. Choose wisely.
Fish. So, I am about to say a semi-lewd joke. So, the Innmouthers, are they literally sleeping with the fishes? I will apologize for that joke now. Are you not going to complain that I'm on your rust bucket of a boat? That appears to be completely broken down? Clearly I need to get closer to the dock. Do I have a spear gun? I guess not. Oh. Tell you what, if I was actually in a place like this, I would be shuddering. I actually have a similar issue when playing the Fallout games. Like, just everything feels dirty and grimy, and I have issues with that. Ugh. I didn't do... You walked into me, lady. Well, you look like an upstanding citizen. I'm pretty sure you will not rant and rave to me about Dagon. There better not be enemies in these rivers here. Because if there are, I'm not going to be pleased. Now, where is this investigation headquarters? here. Feel like... Oh, wait. What am I doing? I can look at my map. That note was right, though. This city is a pain to navigate. Like... You need a boat in order to get anywhere. So if this sort of system was in a Sherlock Holmes game, would it be a hansom cab? Oh, hi! I did not mean to aggravate you. Eat my shovel! Curiosity has killed me far more often than anything else so far. Just me going, oh, what there? Am I at least back to... I need to cross the river again. Infested area. Why do I get the feeling this is not going to end well for me? Let me through! There we go. Oh. Oh shit. Sorry, I come in peace. I mean you no harm. Oh. Fudge. Where's the door? So how am I supposed to get past them? So, don't go straight across the river. You'll run into unholy things. Okay, so the game did teach me how to investigate. They did not teach me how to kill the things that will attack me on sight. I feel like that is something I ought to know. What the? Oh, come on! Let me climb, let me climb, let me climb! Let me climb! Okay, so I need bullet. Bullets are hitting you. Why are you not dying? How am I supposed to... How am I supposed to get in there? Thank you for actually starting me near where I'm trying to go. Please, can I enhance one of my skills so death does not immediately find me? I need to find some experience points, because clearly the method I am currently using has not been successful. Why is it always a crowd of them? Why is it never one or two? It's always a crowd. Out. Oh, that's how I restore set. Okay, so that's how that works. Have I not been at full health this whole time? Out of bullets. I only have 6 shots. Make some widows. Why was I bothering with the automated pistol earlier? This thing does way more! One knowledge point. Thank you! Okay, so knowledge points are the... Carry 7 more pistol rounds. Unnatural recovery. I'll take that one because I get the feeling that I'm going to slowly die if I don't. Hand grenade? .38 pistol round. Okay, so I actually do need to craft my weaponry. I can craft a hand grenade. Okay, so as usual, R is reload. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. Let me climb out. There you are, friends. Now gather all together. Oh, that did not kill both of you. Oh, uh-oh. So the first aid kit and whatnot are literally just jamming a syringe into me? I mean, for its day, I guess that makes sense. A lot of things were in syringes. And most of them not very good for you, but they'd keep you on your feet. What's this? Oh, it's a brick. Okay, I need to find some stuff because I need bullets. I need to scrounge around for a bit. Yes. I got nothing from that. I'm sure they are fresh caught. I imagine fishing is not too difficult when you live in a place where everywhere's flooded. Can I open it? Why was there such a prominent light then? Is there going to be any boxes? I need some boxes. I need boxes full of stuff so I can fill my gun. I get the feeling that the telephone no longer works. What's your problem? I'm just walking here. Seriously, what are those? Are they cats? Are they rats? What are they? Is this going to lead me to an encounter with something supernatural? Yes, yes it is. Shell casings and gunpowder. Well, it's something at least. I'm crafting revolver ammo. Why? Because the Widowmaker is clearly the superior armament. Got Flintlock Street. I need is a box. Oh, I do not like you. This ain't the Disneyland I paid for the tickets for. Oh boy, how many infested locations are there? Mr. Throgmorton, could you maybe dispatch your police? Alcohol, metal scraps. I might be able to make some hand grenades soon. And I know if I swim up there, it's a death sentence. I got nothing from that. Wonderful. What are you? You look interesting. Oh look, a corpse. Why do I get the feeling that if I explore the big spooky manor, I'm going to get attacked? But the lights are on. And again, don't the barnacles need to be in water to attach? Why are they all the way up here? Guess I'll be getting a lot of EXP from, just wandering. I get the feeling you are going to be plot important later, big spooky manor. Although I also get the feeling that I can enter you and that you are going to wind up not doing good things to me. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, look, a big eye hobo sign. I get the feeling oh. Hello, Cthulhu. Hello, Worship Center. Hello, Burial Grounds. Why are there no useful items in you? Did I lock myself in here? I think I may have locked myself in here. Again, these are 1920s doors. Well, I didn't find anything useful in there. It was worth a try, though. Okay, going through holes in the wall typically lead to infested areas. But am I going to let that deter me? No. Shell casings? I need gunpowder, though. Alright, let's keep going, let's keep going. Oh. Get out of there before the eels eat you! Oh, I went the wrong way. So why is there a map? Is that a fast travel station that I was at? Am I stuck? Am I stuck? No, I do not wish to be stuck. Okay. There we go. Let's keep it going. I should have gone this way in the first place. Johnny's mama told him not to bite off more. Johnny's mama told him not to bite off more than he can chew. Does this also say that? She's just crying in front of them, and that dude wasn't going to offer any sort of condolences? Oh, okay. So these are fast travel It's all making sense now. New location, invested. I find a lot of those. Most of the time inadvertently, because as a seasoned Skyrim player, I for some reason must walk and never use horses or anything to get anywhere. If I can't get there on foot, I can't get there. Ooh, well, 12 gauge? Oh, hello, friend! I'ma just run away now. So where's this hospital I can visit? Right over there. They might have some useful stuff. There's a very handy colored door system, it looks like. Usually it means blue doors are ones I can get into. Green doors mean I can't get into them. Open doors are suspicious. And I'm still gonna try and go in them. Even if I know for certain. again, how does it even reach this point? I wonder how much combat this game's actually going to entail if I don't seek it out. Because I know in order to get to where the expedition is, I'll have to go a few places.
Hey, knock it off.
I won't knock it off. I'm on a very serious investigation. I am not taking everything that is not nailed down in this city. I'll have you know. I am
Patient or visitor? Hold on. Let Dr. Grant go.
Visitor. Though you are a bit pale, you don't have a headache, do you?
I'm a bit pale. I have a questionably healthy gray skin tone. But you, my friend, you give me a run for my money.
A chronic headache sufferer. Fascinating. By coincidence, I was studying health at their Royal
I'm looking at myself on the stream sample right here, compared to my model. This man, I think, is exactly at, if not slightly paler than me.
Sounds serious.
May I suggest you become a subject in my experimental medical program?
Sure, let's try it!
Medicine. I guess it can't be any worse than the asylum in Boston. Count me in.
I'm delighted to hear that, Mr.
Reed. Charles Reed.
Mr. Reed. Take these pills with some water. They're a potent measure against parasites. Contact me when you feel improved.
Oh, I'm seeing the visions. You gave me the brainworms, Doctor.
What the hell did you give me, Doc?
Is something wrong? You seem perfectly healthy to me.
Your medicine blinded me. And then he gave me these visions. Worse than a blow to the head. What are you trying to pull?
Intriguing. These side effects are a new development. I'll have to run some more tests. Let me know if anything else happens, won't you?
It looks like hard work in these conditions. You need a hand?
Well, yes, actually. But it may result in close contact with the wilds. Is that going to be a problem?
I'm prepared to face men and beasts alike. Count me in.
I can see it in your eyes. Well, I have taken it upon myself to study the wild beasts, but need more data to confirm two of my hypotheses. One concerns the multi-handed creatures, and the other, the vomiting humanoids.
What have you found out about the multi-handed beasts?
One of my patients saw them in his nightmares before the flood. I can't visit him, but he must know something. Here's his address.
Why do I get the feeling that I'm going to need to go into these places?
What could turn one into such a monstrosity?
Jim Bells, a patient of mine, was admitted to hospital with symptoms resembling cholera, but he turned into one of those things. Incredible. Here's the address. Find out what happened.
Ooh, is this how I get the Plague Doctor outfit? I need it. I need it. Ooh, gunpowder! Only one bullet. Interesting. Are there any other supply? Doc, you keep your supplies in a coffin? He seems even more suspicious now than before. Clear water as opposed to gray water, I suppose? Electric chair? Doctor, I'm beginning to question your methods. But then again, this is 1920, and medical science had not developed quite that far yet. Any more caches? Do you have something to say, friend? Are you not more than a corpse?
Oh, my stomach. I ain't never eaten leeches ever again, no sir. Oh, my stomach. I ain't never eaten leeches ever again, no sir.
I have a question. And that question is, what brought you to the point where you were eating leeches in the first place? Like, leeches are a blood-sucking parasite that lives in water. I imagine compared to some other organisms you could eat, they are less likely to die fast.
Scratch me. Please, please, just here. This itching is driving me insane.
I know what you need, ma'am, and what you need is an intervention. Drugs are bad. Okay, is there another floor? There is not another floor, it doesn't look like. So we'll just go back down now. We've looted all we can from here. But I need more bullets. Always more bullets. More bullets, more bullets! Oh, hey, it's clear. Okay, so let's see where I can go. Casebook. I get the feeling I'm going to be going into an infested area again. Am I likely going to die? Yes. But what am I going to do first? I'm going to save! Alright. Now let's get moving. I want the field research because I'm pretty sure that's how I get the fancy Crow Doctor outfit. And I wants it. Oh look. Infested area, what I tell ya. If I sprint through it. Called it. So if run fast enough, monsters no eat me. Oh, I should round that bend. Be sailing up that bend. Be sailing up that road. Is there anything there besides an obvious ploy for the... No, sir. No, thank you. I do not want any. I do get the feeling this entire area is just full of just things that desire to consume my flesh. There's probably more. Of course there's more of them around. Where is the freaking door? Okay, now where's the door? How do I get in here? This is the... Those skulls seem a bit too large to actually have come from a human. It's gonna be in one of these buildings? I'm getting a lot of bricks. It looks like the entrance is right here, but how do I get inside? Over? Maybe. If I can get on that fire escape, maybe. But it doesn't look like I can get on that fire escape. And I feel like the minute I step out, the creatures are going to come back. A45. Oh, there's a Tommy gun. So how do I get in the building? Was it just... Is it just in this general vicinity, or is there a door here that I'm missing? I need answers! The waypoint leads me here. The waypoint leads me here, so where do I go? This may in fact stymie my investigations a tad. No entry. Private property. Alright. Interested in wild bees. He believes in saying blah blah blah. There we go. So now it's taking me to a definitive location. Inventory. Let's craft some more bullet. Oh, shit. Running is clearly the best option here. down. Oh, shoot. Smash. Smash! And now is the time to run. Okay. Took care of that one. I just need to take care of this one. And of course, now is when I'm out of bullets. Just die. Just die. Stay down. Just die. 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 There we go. Dead. Oh, I got a thing. Please give me some bullets. Please give me some bullets. I am in the right building, yeah? Yeah. Motorcycle. Oh, that gave me a lot. Okay, so what happened here? Did I explore this all for nothing? Nothing at all? There's no evidence here. There is only remains of things that should not be. Salvation Harbor. Central Salvation Harbor. Oh. It all makes sense now. I need to actually place these. Like, legitimately. Good to know. That is something that was not ever explained to me. Okay, Central Salvation Harbor on Windheim Street, south of Polaris Road. There. Okay. It all makes sense now. Northern Salvation Harbor on Moreland Road. Moreland Road. Between Higgs Lane and Benevolent Tides. Moreland Road. Moreland. Between Higgs Lane. I'm not seeing a Higgs Lane. Polaris Road, Sunset, Levi. Says it's in the northern, yeah? Where is it, though? Higgs Lane. I see no Higgs Lane. Reed Heights, Old Grove. Moreland. Oh, there it is. Moreland Road between Higgs Lane and Benevolent Tides. So now I just need to find Benevolent. Oh, here. Okay. Note to self. Next time, I just need to actually use my brain. It's not going to give me the waypoints. It is instead going to tell me that I need to find it for myself, like a real investigator. Because this is, of course, a detective story, as a lot of early horror stories were. And a lot of modern horror stories are. And now that I know, I'm going to go. I might as well return to my hotel room. After all, I want to confirm that that field research is exactly why I need to continue.
Door won't budge. Makes this place feel more like home than this Boston horror. Hey.
Okay, yes, if I get the field research case. Then I get the Plague Doctor outfit, which will probably be my outfit for this entire playthrough. After all, nothing screams sanity like a beaked mask. Alright. We didn't get too far in the game, but I am going to say we did learn a lot. For now, though, we're going to head back to the office. Alright. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think I had a good time with this stream today, and I appreciate everyone coming to watch. Alright, so, I have some thoughts on the game already, just from what we have played already. So, I personally found that this game has a lot of good elements to it. One of which being that you need to actually be an investigator in order to progress in the story. Now, I have done some research into the developer of this game. They made some Sherlock Holmes games that kind of worked in a similar vein. And they were basically designed to make you feel like you are solving cases just like Sherlock Holmes did. And a lot of the same elements are in this game. You need to put together the information you have available, and that is how you get progress. Like, when I was clicking the waypoints, it did not actually give me where the waypoint was. Instead, had I been paying attention, when I scrolled over them, they instead required me to find them and place them myself to do my own investigation. Which is why it led me to danger, because it was just wherever I happened to have the thing pointed. It was not going to tell me. Which, given that this is a detective game, I liked. Also, another thing to talk about is the fact that, well, while there are obviously elements of themes of discrimination which are very prevalent in H.P. Lovecraft's work, although, of course, he was a very pro-discrimination sort of person, it had a bit of nuance to it that I would not have expected. Like, I genuinely did not expect them to have that sort of nuance to it, while still portraying the sort of things that Lovecraft, unfortunately, wrote very frequently about. It actually showed a lot of the struggles of a marginalized community, in this case the Innmouthers, although if anyone who's read Shadow over Innsmouth knew the lore about the Innmouthers, most people have reason to be wary. But then again, they were actually presented as people in this one, rather than just evil fish people. Alright. So far I am liking what I am seeing, and I look forward to continuing playing it over the next few months, along with the other games we have on the docket. Next week, we will be playing... What was it? We'll be resuming Little Nightmares. So, if you're wanting to view me for that, it's next week, same time as always. And I am still collecting stories for my October 27th stream. I've put a few of my own in there, because I also have some stories that I just have been interested in and have wanted to read. So I figured we'd enjoy them together on the 27th, but I am still, of course, collecting submissions. We need more, and I'm hoping to make an entire stream out of reading stories. Alright, so I hope you all had a wonderful time. I am now going to get us someone to raid. Let's see. Oh, we got a few of the people I follow who are going tonight. We got Nick Nocturne, Basil Wolf, Lomari Fairchild. Let's send to them. Ooh, Starlight Kitsu is playing Vasma. I'll just raid her. You know, small streamers support one another. Alright. That's set up to go, Alright, everything's set up to go. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all next week on the same time as always.